Do you want to know what the year 2024 has in store for us? Every year, I channel a new book that holds all the clarity of the power of the year. 2024 will be all about reprogramming your mind, jumping from 3D to 5D consciousness, and activating your full DNA potential. If you want to know more, get yourself a copy of the book Source Channeling for the World 2024 and start reading now. Welcome back to the Instant Clarity podcast. My name is Tjaša Dorelay and I'm a channeling medium. Have you ever wondered how I channel all my books? What is the process like? Well, in this episode, I share with you the details. If you want to know, just keep on listening. Since I was a little girl, every spiritual teacher that I worked with said to me, "You will be writing books, and those books will shift consciousness on this planet." And I've heard this message so many times, but I never felt that I'm a writer because I don't like to sit behind my computer and write. But everyone shared this message with me, so I said, maybe I should do this anyway. So a few years ago, I sat down, I decided to write a book, and I started channeling and typing on the computer. And after 150 pages, I just stopped because I didn't love the process, even though the messages, the clarity of the book was amazing. I then later on started a new book and the second book and the third book, and I haven't finished any of my 3 books that I've written in this way. This process of sitting behind a computer and typing was really exhausting for me. So I said, you know what? Even though everyone is saying that I should be writing books, I just don't like the process. And I remember one of my first spiritual teachers, he gave me this gift, channeled message from my guides. I wasn't a channeling medium back then. And the message said, you will be writing books that people will read for years to come. Even when you will already die, your books will be read all over the world. And your books will be about the consciousness, almost like a science fiction book, explaining how the world is created and so on. And remember, I wasn't a channeling medium back then, so I didn't know how to channel, but I received this channel message and it just didn't resonate with me because I didn't felt connected to the science fiction. I didn't know what this meant. Anyhow, fast forward a few years, I'm here trying to write a book, already a channeling medium, and the process is so exhausting that I said, no. Even though everybody was telling me I should be a writer, this is not what I want to be doing. But then the next time I go into my channel to chat with my guides, they come to me and they say, you know what? Why don't we start another different approach? Not writing the book on the computer, but recording the messages that we are sharing with you. So just go, connect, go to the channel and start recording, speaking out loud the messages, the clarity. And I was confused. How can you write a book by recording it? Okay, I understand the technical side of this to make a transcript, but is it possible for me to channel, to download the exact words as they were written in a book so the book can then be created? And my guide said, of course, let's just do it. Let's just try that process. So I said, okay. I closed myself in my studio, which, by the way, is a closet inside of my room, inside of my home. And I put a recording on, went to the channel and started channeling. So this was really refreshing for me because I love to talk, as you already know that. And the channeling messages coming through my talking were then recorded And the process for me was so beautiful. I really felt good. It was not tiring for me. I was actually feeling energized afterwards. So this is how I created my first channeled book. And now I have already created the fourth channeled book, and they all are created by the same process. So, for example, I know what topic I want the book to be about. I close myself in my wardrobe because the silence is better there, no voice from the outside, and I start recording and I connect to my guides and say, for example, I want to get clarity on what the energies of the upcoming year will be about. So, can you please share with me this consciousness? And the most interesting thing is, while you are channeling a book really comes from the beginning to the end. So, it's like you would open an already existing book in the universal consciousness and just repeat the words that are written there, saying them out loud, so you record the exact book. They start with the introduction, the first chapter, the second chapter. It's already there in the energy field. It's the most amazing feeling because when I connect through the channel, they say, okay, here is the first chapter, and I just channel the first chapter. Okay, here is the second chapter, and I channel the second chapter. And of course, I can channel only a few hours per day. So the next day, when I go back to my recording studio, I just go to the channel and they continue from the exact sentence they left off the day before. This is the most amazing thing. I really love that. And even sometimes, they start sharing a clarity and they say, no, let's do this differently. They go back a few sentences back and say, change this to this, and the clarity comes through. So we're chatting inside of this process where they're even correcting some sentences. So I need to go back and start a sentence again because they realize that the sentence would be better like this. And this process of creating a channeled book takes, a few days in a row, and then I need to relax. I need to rest because I cannot be in the channel the whole day. So, for example, I'm channeling 2 to 3 hours per day for 3 days, and then I need some rest because I need to obviously take care of my physical body, and then I go back to my recording studio and they just continue where they left off, chapter after chapter, until the book is finished. So, for example, for one book that has around 300, 400, 300, I think, pages, I need 2 weeks, something like that. It depends on also the topic of the book. Just the 2 weeks of being closed in my closet and just channeling. And I never listen to what I'm channeling. This is such an important thing with creating the channel book, because if my mind would listen to what I'm channeling, I would be controlling the flow of the messages, the clarity. And I don't want that. I don't want to interfere with my humanness into this celestial process going on. So I just put all my things aside, my identity, who I am as a person, my ego, my mind is here outside. And I'm just a vessel, I'm just a channel. And everything that comes through, I just trust and allow that obviously it needs to come through. Obviously, it needs to be in the book. And later on, when my team calls me, how was the channeling today? What did they tell you? I'm like, I don't know. It was good. It was amazing. The energies were great, but I'm not sure what this book will be about. So later on, I don't read or listen to the recording until the book is finished. And this really, it's a process of trust for me, because I need to trust that the book is perfect, that all the clarity that needs to be in it is in it. Because the first time I listened to the recording is when they give me the last chapter, and I finish the last chapter. And then I go and I listen to the recording, and I'm like, wow, amazing. Look, this clarity. And what is also interesting is that they share, for example, in the first few chapters, one clarity. And then in the last chapter, after 300 pages, they share something that is connected to the first pages. And they say, as we already told you before in the previous chapters, blah, 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 blah. So it's incredible how already the consciousness of the book exists. And I'm just here to bring it forward. And when the channeling stops, after 2 weeks, I go and I listen to the recording, and I'm amazed on how amazing and powerful the clarity I've channeled. And then what happens, the next thing is that I give this recording to my team, and then my team does the transcript, which is a very important part of this creation. Why? Because certain sentences are written differently than they would be in a normal book, because a channeled book holds the energy. So the words, how they are put inside of the sentence, have a big meaning. Sometimes it's not grammatically correct, but the way how words are put inside of the sentence is creating an activation of the energy inside of the reader afterwards. So if you have already read some of my channeled books, when you read a channeled book, it's like your whole body is vibrating. The energy process is happening while reading, because this is the power of channeled book and the power of the messages inside of it, and exactly how the words are put inside of the sentence. This is a very important part, that the transcripts, when they are made, and the editorial part that happens afterwards, does not change the energy of the book. This is why I'm so grateful that I have such amazing team members that take care of that part. So the flow of the energies stay consistent, and it doesn't get ruined by how the words are then, put there or there. So after the transcripts are made, the editorial part starts, where I go back with my team members, reading paragraph after paragraph, and just making sure that the energy is there, that everything is flowing exactly how it should. And then at the end, if the book gets translated, a translator gets the book, translates it, always making sure to keep the energy the same. This is why it's so important that you choose the right person for the editorial and for the translation, because everybody who is part of this creation needs to get the message, needs to get the flow and the energy of the book, so that this flow stays until the moment you as a reader open this book. So there's so much love, so much care, really being mindful that we want this energy of the book and the consciousness of the book to stay there until the book is then later on published. I will not go into this process of publishing the book this time, but what I wanted to share is that when I channeled my not this year's book, but last year's book, I started, going into the channel and asked the guides that they gave me the book for the upcoming year, because every year I channel a book that shares the clarity for that year. And different guides jumped into my channel and they say, no. Now some new book will be born through you, so let's just start with the channeling of that book. And I was so shocked. No. I have a schedule, I have to create this book. So it was a funny thing, because a book started coming through, just the first chapter, just so that I would get intrigued. And then they stopped and they said, okay, now you can go and create the book you wanted to create, but we just wanted to let you know what is coming later on. So this is the book that you will create afterwards. So up until this moment, this book is still waiting for me to just continue channeling it and to continue creating it. So for now, all the books that I have created were the books that hold the clarity about a certain year, and they are like guidelines, the guidebooks to get the most out of this year. And this is the type of the books that I have channeled up until now. But I know, because when I go to the channel, I see all the books that are still there to be channeled, that in the future I will create more books on different topics. And I already know that there will be a series of books that I'm here to bring forward. And if I go back to the first message that I received so many years ago, you will be writing books. They will feel like science fiction, but they will really bring a lot of clarity. Now I know that the message was correct. I'm really doing that, and I love this process. I love channeling books for you and bringing you clarity, and it really touches my heart and makes me so happy when I see your response, when I see your life changing because you read the book and you've integrated the clarity you received inside. So yeah, let's just continue. I will create the books and you keep reading them, and we will all expand our consciousness through that. I wish clarity you received today has touched your heart, expanded your consciousness, and inspired you to become the conscious leader of your life. If it has, please leave a review, share some love, or share this episode with others. Let's stay connected on Instagram at Tjaša Dorelay, and remember, your vibration creates your situation. Knock, knock. Who's there? The book Source Channeling for the World 2024. Did you get your copy yet? If not, order it now.